everybody, it's Kelly, and I am going to come to you live for just a minute. And the reason is I have these photographs from a recent trip to a botanical garden near me, or it was actually, I think it was, actually now I think about it, it was more than a month ago, considering we're almost in October, when I'm videoing this anyway. So I have this collage of all the flowers and my mom and my sister who I went with. And then I have this map and these photos of a Thai, and I can't remember exactly what this Thai pavilion in the gardens. And this is a beautiful place not too far from where I live. Anyway, so I want to do this layout today, but I don't have two papers that I like that, you know, that are the same here, I guess, is what, you know, I don't have any of the same papers here. So what I'm thinking about doing is somehow doing this layout not as necessarily a two-page layout. I'm not exactly sure. So I'm playing with papers here. So what I'm thinking is that I might do something like this and maybe carry that back across here, although, you know, when I look at that, it doesn't seem serious enough. So I also pulled out this paper and figured that if I could figure this out properly, I might be able to get it all on this paper so that I have a pattern back here, and that might kind of separate it off a little bit from what's below it. And I'm using a very old paper collection here. I'm trying to use some of those up. This is from the Girls Papery, and it's fairly old, so this just doesn't seem like the right paper to put under those Thai photos. So I don't know, maybe it's this word paper that needs to go under here or something. And that still doesn't look right to me. I don't know, because I guess I could take that and do like that, but again, it's a little bit too juvenile. So the other thing I might do, and then there's this option as well as I'm looking at this. So I'm kind of thinking as I'm talking to you. You're probably yelling, oh, I love that, or I don't love that, or whatever it is that you're yelling at me. So there's this option that I could do as well. And I do like these on this piece of paper. So that is an, ooh, and I just flipped this and I saw this. So this, I think, is much more fitting for what this is. Now the question is, what do I do about this side? Because I really do like this on here, but I think this needs to be much more serious, but I do want them to coordinate somehow. So let's see what we think about that. I don't mind that. I do love this better, but I think if I'm going to treat this as more of a double page, this, the more I look at it, is not serious enough for this. Now I do have this piece of paper with some flowers on it, and I think I could use that between both of them. You can see I've cut out some of these before, so I would probably use this and maybe a couple of these. But maybe what I need to do is that, and do it like that. And I could, if I wanted to tie back into some of the pink, although I have the pink here, so I don't think I need to do that necessarily. Although I do tend to like to border things. So I could do a little bit, like a little bit of pink on here as well. Maybe that's what I'll do. And maybe what I need to do is this, like this. See how so what I'm seeing is, I didn't like these photos up against this. I don't know what it was. I just didn't care for that. But the minute I flipped it like this, I liked it better to my eye. And you know, this is an eye thing, it's my eye. So now the question is, and I'm just going to do that because I'm going to border this, and I could actually do kind of what I'm doing here so that I've got that up there, and then somehow I'm not going to do these 2 pages together. I'm going to come back to this again and see if I like this any better now next to this. And if I play my cards right with this, I have a 12 by 12 piece of paper, okay? So if I use this pink paper here as a mat for this, I have this much left here. I could get the border strips out of this that I want to. And then that way I'll have 2 pieces together. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I don't usually do this with you. A lot of times you see my layouts mostly created by the time you see them. But sometimes I think it's interesting for you to see our thought processes. And what I'll probably do is flip these somehow, because I don't know that I like that so much like that. It doesn't feel balanced to me, but that I'll take care of when I do this page. And I think I am going to just, I'll probably work on them separately, but get this cut first because I need to make sure that it looks okay. And then I'll probably work on this page because I think this is going to be the more difficult of the 2 pages, but keeping this in mind, once I have this cut, I kind of have it there. So anyway, this could be a really long video because I don't normally do 2 pages without any idea of what I'm going to do at all, but I'm going to do that today. The other thing is I have no embellishments left from this collection, so that's kind of interesting as well. But I think what I'll do here is I'm just going to go forward. I'll pull what I can from my stash. Gosh knows I have a large enough stash, and use those floral pieces that I talked about. And we'll just see what happens. So anyway, you're going to go on fast forward now. Okay, so let's get started with the actual construction of the layout. First, I am going to take that pink plaid paper, and it is from the Girls Papery Vintage Whimsy, and that paper is from 2011. Time to get these papers used up. And I just backed my photo collage, and it's been a while since I recorded the live portion of this, so in case I didn't say that, I do those photo collages in Photosheet. Now I decided I wanted to bring some of that khaki color over from the left paper into the right side, and I'm going to use these doilies from Recollections to do that. They are from Gift at Christmas. So those are Christmas doilies from a couple years ago. They're probably at least 2 years old, maybe even older, probably almost 3 years old now, actually, now that I think about it. But now I have those on the right side, so I'm bringing the khaki over. Then I am cutting strips of that, some more strips of that pink gingham paper to bring that to the left side so that it's on both the left and the right. And that's the thing, besides the color of the khaki, that's going to bring these 2 pages together, even though they're very different. And I think that's a cool thing about this layout that you can see. It's a 2-page layout. The 2 pages are very different. They're not mirroring each other really in any way, but they're still a 2-page layout and still look great together. So what I'm doing now is I'm thinking about like a place to journal, whether I want to do that or not. And I was pulling out some old Making Memories journaling cards, and they're just not going to work. So I will eventually take that off there and go back to my original idea, which is just a little bit of journaling on one of the sheets of paper. I'm inking with my Tim Holtz Vintage Photo, just because the paper on the left is very distressed. The papers on the left are very distressed, so I want to make sure I bring that over to the papers on the right as well. Sorry about that. And now I'm just getting the paper down. That polka dot paper that I use there is from the Girls Papery. It's the Paper Girl paper from 2010. And then that khaki wallpaper paper on the left, so the left background paper, is Vintage Whimsy from 2011. The small floral paper on the right is Kitsch, and that is also 2011. So those are all the Girls Papery and all old papers that need to be used up. All right, so I decided to add some doilies on the left side as well, just to pull these all together. It also helps ground the photos together a little bit. I like how that kind of turned out in the end. So now I'm getting everything glued down here, and I'm adding my brochure back on top. And what I'm using there is, those are some Hermafix clear photo corners, and I use those to attach either brochures or documents. So brochures that I want to be able to take in and out if I want to do that, or documents that I don't want to glue down because of their importance. I also use them on like wedding programs and that kind of stuff, so you can still read the back if you want to. Now I'm going to the large floral paper that I'm going to cut apart, or going to fussy cut, to use as my embellishments. And this particular paper here is called Paper Girl. I may have given you the wrong, I think I told you that small floral paper was Paper Girl. The small floral paper is Kitsch. This is the Paper Girl paper here. And I'm kind of just checking to see, you know, I'm not cutting everything out of that paper. And I think I have this video, part of the video, speeded up 7 times. So that's why I'm doing this so fast. Trust me, it was far from fast. Otherwise, you would have been watching this forever and ever and ever. So I just cut that apart, use the large floral on the bottom because that helps weight the bottom. And now I'm trying to figure out what to do on the top there. Didn't find anything I loved that I had already cut apart from. So now I'm just taking another piece, and you'll notice here, like, there's pieces of this flower missing because it was at the bottom of the paper. Well, that's okay, because I'm going to end up hiding it behind the photo on the side there. And that's okay. You know, if pieces are missing, you just tuck strategically is the best way to describe that. And that's what I did here. All right, then now I have the floral fussy cut flowers on one side. So I want to bring it now to the other side for sure, because that will help tie the two papers together. So besides the doilies, these fussy cut flowers will help as well too. And so I'm just going to put it down there in the bottom because it's a little bit bigger. And then I decide I want to do it in one more spot. So kind of figuring that out, and I'll fussy cut this piece as well here too. And again, this is missing lots of pieces because of the way I was cutting things out, but it's going to work great, or lots of parts of the flowers, but I'm just going to hide it so that I just looks like I tucked the full flower in behind. By the way, when you fussy cut, the best thing to do is to move your hand with the paper in it, not your scissors. You'll get a better cut. And also keep your elbow tucked into your side and don't move your elbow. So that also helps. And then I use my Cutter Bee Detail scissors there. Some people use bigger ones, but I use that one. Now I'm just going to do this little bit of journaling here on the end. Look for the still shot and the detail shots because I did add some pearls to this from Recollections. Hope you're all well, and I'll be back with another layout again soon. Bye!